In a year defined by conflict and widening global divides, the Doha Forum returned with a renewed focus on dialogue, mediation, and long-term stability. And this year, a large contingent from the European Union was on hand, looking to strengthen ties with the Gulf Cooperation Council states.
Frankly, in full disclosure, when I was coming here for the first time yesterday, I thought of it as a regional event, but it's not. It's a global event, and as such, it merits the active involvement of key European figures.
These two markets, the GCC market and the European market, together they represent the 20%, almost the 20% of the global economy, almost the 18% of the global trade. So we have a huge potential. So it means even that we can reach a huge leverage together, a joint leverage for dealing all over the world and for working in the direction of more peace and more prosperity.
Peace and stability remain top of mind, especially for Syria. It's been 1 year since the fall of former President Bashar al-Assad's government, a moment that unfolded during the 2024 Doha Forum. Now, 1 year later, Syria's new president, Ahmed al-Shara, is on the forum's center stage.
Not only Doha Forum, but the state of Qatar always promote for dialogue and for peace process. Always welcome the outcome of what happened during sessions, and Doha Forum always open for diverse voices and discussing the pressing issues around the world, aiming for good results out of those sessions.
The Doha Forum in particular has been a place that convenes thought leaders and political figures and people working on humanitarian assistance. You saw last year this forum happened at the same time that the regime fell in Syria, and everyone was here. The seeds of how you move forward in Syria happened here because everyone was at this forum.
Still, experts say there's plenty of work left to be done.
There is an incredible hunger for transition, for human rights protection, for truth on the part of the Syrian people. And there are changes. There is absolutely no doubt that this is not the same country as a year ago. For a start, we were there. And Amnesty has never been able to legally enter Syria until the fall of the Assad regime.
Each year, the Doha Forum brings together heads of state, thought leaders, and experts to tackle the world's biggest problems. As the growing divide widens between the global north and south, this year's gathering seems more essential than ever.
It's a real credit, I think, to Doha, bringing together so many also disparate and different voices to come together and discuss the difficult issues of our day, just like my panel. And coming from the European space, I noticed, some of the debates about, for example, Armenia, Azerbaijan, the conflict there and the solution for that conflict, and the conflict in Ukraine, things which are very close to my heart because they were within the jurisdiction of the court I sat on. So it's an amazing forum, and it's a real privilege to be here.
A privilege is also how Mexican architect Frida Escobedo describes being selected to design Qatar's new Ministry of Foreign Affairs building, located at the former General Post Office, just steps away from the forum.
The idea was to think about all of the elements that are already present in the GPO that have a heritage. So the idea of repetition, modularity, the idea of protection from the sun and from the weather conditions was a source of inspiration, but we were also thinking how to bring it into new life, and also thinking about what are these elements that continue to work and to continue to be very relevant for the building to be not only something that Qatari people can feel related to and proud of, but also that work very well environmentally.
And much like Escobedo's vision of breathing new life into a familiar space, this year's Doha Forum theme, Justice in Action, Beyond Promises to Progress, carries a similar hope. Ideas are a start, but it takes real effort and intention to turn them into meaningful change.